Check, check. Glad to have you in here, M Trades. So far, just you. So you're up first, but we'll give it one more minute to send out a server ping. Oh, looks like Zoom user. All right. So you guys wait till right at 5 o'clock. That's no problem. Yeah, put the request in the Zoom chat, you guys. If it's something you're in, if it's a stock, if you just want, the equity, that's fine. If you're in a trade and it's red, let me know. If you're in a trade and it's green and you want to keep holding, want help with some targets, let me know on that too. But yeah, let me know if you're already in it or not. That way it's kind of easier for me to go about this. But give it one more minute. It's 5:02 my time, so don't want to waste anybody else's time. But might just be a small class, but that is a-okay. Thoughts on NVIDIA? Interesting. I will put that one down. I'll start with SPY as I usually do, just kind of show you guys, like I say, where we're at, where I think we might be going, some things to watch, and then yeah, I'll definitely get to NVIDIA for sure. All right, guys, might just be a slow night, slow week. We will see. We'll roll with what we got for now. Um, those of you guys that are here, feel free to mute your mic, ask questions, try and keep it relevant and best you can. Don't be shy. This hour is for you guys, not just for me yapping on the mic for an hour. So, if you guys have questions on whatever item I'm talking about, why I'm doing something, why I'm seeing what I'm seeing, be sure to ask questions. So, with that, you guys, we'll get started. Um, SPY on the daily chart. The biggest thing I kind of want to show you guys today is this poke up here to this 695, 695.3 zone. I think as of now, I know, like I said in weeks past, we've poked over it, but we have not, excuse me, had any convincing daily closes over that. We've gapped over and sold through it, gapped over, sold through it, gapped over, sold through it again, and we've never really had a breakout close one day on the 27th of January. And so that's a spot to watch, you guys. Like I kind of hit in the chat sometimes, I always say just, don't be late to call, stuff like that. Doesn't mean dive in puts. It just means, hey, this is the zone that we keep rejecting. We keep failing to break higher. And so that's something to watch. And so this is kind of what I have on the daily chart here, you guys, on some levels to watch. Keep an eye on. Again, it's the smackdown level, it's the bounce level, it is the magnet back and forth, back and forth. Um, Intraday on the hourly chart here, same thing. You see, we push up, and where do we stall at? We used all this juice, all this buying power, um, and we kind of stall out up here in the 695.3 zone. Again, these are 1 hour candles. They're stopping here. They're kicking it down. They're trying to buy it back up. They're stopping, kicking it down. And ultimately, we closed not lower than the open, obviously, but lower from this afternoon session there. And so that's the spot to watch for me. So tomorrow, my game plan is just kind of these big levels in here. Any retests to 691, I like that dip as well. And then the 692.2, 693.84 as well. But again, any pushes into here, that's fine. Ride that wave, especially if we open lower, push up into it. Take those calls for sure. But if we're opening here and we start, we open kind of up here and we start failing to break over, we start seeing price action like this. For me, I cannot recommend you guys getting in calls and chasing and possibly getting a horrible 1 hour candle like that to the downside. So, any questions on SPY? Don't see anything in the chat. I don't think so. So, all right. I'll get right to your guys' watch list. M Trades wants NVIDIA. 200 by this month. Look at enter. 200 call. Let's see where we're at. Let me zoom out just a bit. I don't trade this one a ton. I want to see kind of where we're shaking out lately. So, yeah, right around this 190 zone here. So this is kind of a great spot to talk about, actually. Let me extend this 1 second. And we're going to make this red just to kind of show you. Those are my rejection zones are red and bounce zones are green. Kind of what I like to focus on there. So you see we're kind of closing right at that. I guess I could argue this should be a green zone because we're over it right now, but that's the zone to focus around right here on the daily. And as I zoom out, you see, we poke over it. That's a good continuation for the upside. And even better yet, we break over and they retest it, we get the bounces there. That's the stuff we like to see if you want to be bullish on these positions. But um, all these top side candle moves, when we fail to break over, we take a little bit lower. When we fail to break over, we go lower, lower, lower. So we're kind of closing right at it right now. We're trading about 189.50. And so this would be my game plan. This is the daily chart. If you want some levels or take a screenshot, I'm going to go into an intraday chart here for you, M trades, and kind of show you at least how I would trade it. So this is a very, very nice level. Again, a 30-minute chart. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and then I'll show you my ideal entry. I want to focus on the top of this range here. So basically, we'll just call it 190 flat. Okay. And then we have basically a $1 range where for me, it's kind of a no zone. I don't want to be overly bullish or bearish inside that zone. But when we get underneath that, we see the sell down. We get underneath it, sell down, underneath it, sell down. We're over it. We see the nice bounces. So that's what I want you to focus on here. This is actually a really, really nice setup for you guys that like to trade NVIDIA. So my plan is simple. And that is, so we got the 30-minute chart here. I'm going to zoom way in so you guys can kind of see how I trade this, why I trade this. For me, it's a twofold here. So basically we had, this is a 30-minute chart, had this huge 30-minute candle here that fully engulfs that, kind of back traces just a little bit, push a little bit higher. And ultimately, what do? We just slow trickle down into this 190 zone and where we close at 190. So for me, you probably know where I'm going with this. In a perfect world, if you're bullish on this, we're going to kind of trickle in here like this in the after hour session in the morning. Hopefully we open over it. I don't know how far over, maybe like a 50-cent move over, kind of where these wicks are. We come down into this and test this. And then what you do, I'm not saying you should trade the open right away because I think it's very, very risky. But like I kind of say every other week, if we start seeing some 15-minute candles kind of like this that are closing over, they try to break it below, that's a good sign that buyers are defending this level. They're trying to hold the 190 zone. So for me, buying a call dip here and riding the wave, where do we sell? Very, very easy. You're just looking at the previous day price action. So first things first, 190.5. The top side of this wick right here is definitely, if you catch a 50-cent move and you're not selling, that's greedy to me. So definitely for me, target one, and it lines up pretty close to that target there. So again, 190.5, and then we start moving up into this little cluster here, and we look left and look at it kind of lines up very nicely with this kind of little battle here, back and forth, and then what they do, they sold through it and they kicked it down. So that'd be target two for me. And then all these wicks on the top side, these are 30-minute candles. Anywhere up in here could be target three, and then target four would be like 194 high of day. So that's how I would trade this for sure. But any opens inside here, and it's time to be patient because, like I said, moves can happen either way. And any sells underneath here, I'm not bullish on this setup until we back test some levels down here for a dip buy. I just don't like this sell, and I think it could trigger a decent sell under 189 if they do sell through it. So I like this setup so much. Actually, I'm going to set a bottom alert here and a top side alert as well. Any questions on that, M trades? Hopefully that helps you. We could talk for sure some more in DMs, but that's how I trade it. The no fluff setup for me. This is a very cut and dry setup how I like to trade, and if it opens around here, it's going to provide a decent setup back and forth. Do I mean a 50 call for a day trade? I'm not sure on NVIDIA what you mean. I'm at a 50-cent move in the stock. So if we enter at 190 KP, feel free to unmute your mic if you want. I'm not sure. I don't understand your question. I'm saying if we get a 50-cent move in the stock, so 190.5 from 190. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so 50-cent move. So meaning, yeah, you're getting a 50 delta out of this. So, if you guys know anything about delta, this is basically what it's going to pay you in a $1 move. So if we take the 192 calls, it's going to pay you 38 bucks roughly. Again, things move fast, IV shifts, stuff like that, but you're looking at a $38 profit on a $1 move. So 50-cent move of the stock, you're getting half of that money, is the big thing I want you guys to kind of met on that. So yeah, 50-cent move on the stock. Good question. Yeah, I mean, that's going to pay you 50 percent of that delta. That's a good move for sure. Um, Starbucks, let's do it. I think it's trading. Where's this thing at? Might be on the road to 100. Let's zoom out. I want to see where it's stopping out here at 99. Let's see, what is this 99 level doing for us? I'll go back in time here. Just get a red line so we can find this easy. Ooh, interesting. Interesting there. Interesting there. Yeah, I see the thesis for sure. If that 99 cracks, especially a breakdown retest under. I'm looking all the way back here, August, September last year, Avenger. I know you're
Yeah,
probably
you have
seeing
to
the
go
same
far
thing.
back.
What's up, brother?
You had to go far back to see it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was looking at around
yeah, I'm
there.
looking at that for sure. I'm looking at kind of these tops here. Right now it's just I'm calling it a 50-50. If we're over, I can't be super bearish. I'm thinking it's the push to 100, but under a retracement is fine. What am I at the daily? How far are we from the moving averages? Do we get a big move? Yeah, we're a little extended. So, and we close pretty much an indecision candle, top side wick, bottom side wick. So, indecision, you know, whether it's weak buyers, strong sellers, or just basically they're going, hey, what do we want to do with this up here? Big money. That's all I really see when I see a candle like this. So, it should make it fairly easy for us to act on it. We got earnings out of the way. What was our price actually? Yeah, just basically a magnet right at that 99. With caution, brother, I think we take the long, to push into this 100, but I'm not super confident because, it kind of stalled out. I'm trying to get my drawings going. Not saying stalled out, but didn't quite get there. Stalled out in the effect that, it didn't really hold this level. When we push higher, they kind of just bought this, probably an opening 5 minute candle here to try and push towards that 100 and sweep that. And they pretty much got to it to the penny. And then the big psychological number smacked down. And so for me, how I trade this, I know we trade pretty similar. Got the hourly 20. If we keep pinning this sideways, chances are the hourly 20 is going to be pretty damn close to that. So even for a short here, brother, I don't love it just because, if we closed lower and we retraced it, but we just have all this junk here that to me, this is just indecision. It's fake outs. It's, hey, we took this short at 99. We're looking good to target one or whatever. We're cheering. And then boom, the next candle, we're break even. We're back to target one and break even, back to target one. So back and forth. And so for me, um, a 99 can work, but I don't like this price action from the previous day. If we were to push higher and we cleared under 99 and we didn't have any of this junk to chew through, because you're going to have shit. Volume profile is probably going to say the same thing. Yeah, just all this cluster here, and the point of control is right here, like 8 or 98.9. All that volume just stacked there. And so if they open here, to me, that's no reason to just dive into puts because it could be a repeat of this shit from today. And so you don't want to be stuck in that, especially as the week goes on. But would I be more inclined to tell you option one, buy time, meaning ideally March or longer, or let them take this move down, this 50-cent move down here, and we clear this, brother. This is a better trade for me because we're clearing these wicks. I know we got down here, but we're clearing this wicks and this
And
entire
there's
zone is
nothing in its
negated.
way.
Yeah, and then right this first candle where they stopped, try to dip it under, bought it back up. If they don't buy this back up, they're telling me that they're just giving up on this whole section up here. At least that's kind of how my mindset works. So get long, stay long with caution at 99, but not super confident just based on that. Um, not my favorite step you've requested, but definitely one we can watch with time. But for me, if I want to short this, I'm putting an alert here for 98.5 basically. Um, I just don't like this price action from today, but hopefully it helps you. Hopefully it doesn't shy away from too much what you're watching, but just gotta get my honest opinion when I see it, brother.
Got it. Thanks, Wonka.
Yep. IWM, let's hit it, man. Make sure there's no questions on that. Yep, going in order, guys. I see a couple Googles, a couple Qs. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, payroll and CPI definitely will affect it. CPI and data in general, they're pretty good, at least CPI, PPI, they're pretty good at getting the estimates damn near perfect. It's when the big surprises happen that we would see a large gap up or down. But yeah, the data this week for sure. Should have gave us some data pre-market, especially 30 minutes after the open if we get some data release as well. IWM, let's zoom out. 264, big line, big level. Get that line profile off just for now. I think this is all-time high zone. Let me get a couple more lines up here. Gonna be some quick charting. Just gonna start these wicks here, see where things shake out. I'm not gonna say no man's land. I'm gonna mark it today's high just to see where that stopped intraday. I like this one better. I got the double top side wick here. Gonna grab that. We got some stuff in between here. I'm gonna have to go intraday here and see what we got. Don't love it for sure. All right, let's zoom out here. Yeah, I like this. So what I would do here, guys, at least how I trade, I'm getting a red zone going here. Doesn't mean I'm overly bearish. It just means be mindful of this. And I'll kind of show you why, or at least things I look for. Why are my drawing boxes not working? There we go. Operator. One of these days I'll figure out thinkorswim. So I mine this, Laro, and other people in this trade or that like to trade this, that is. I'm seeing a push up here from, what was that? January 15th here. Trying to get back to drawing mode. There we go. January 15th, kind of topping out here, topping out. A morning top out and then a push up. This might have been FOMC day. I can't quite remember. And then the battle here, rejection, rejection. And now kind of here, the push up to this upper level here and kind of where we're stopping here. So I think this provides a very good day trade. You guys know how I trade, where I'm probably going with this. So for me, personally, up here, if we open up here, I can't get long until we clear previous day high, which is today. So for a day trade, this is a scalp range for me and a pretty nice scalp, 266.6 to 267. So basically a $1 right on the money, $1. Yeah. So in very, very nice $1 range. So if this level holds, with caution, take your calls, scalps. But again, you're not getting greedy looking for stuff way up here. You're literally playing a $1 range. And when you're in the trade, ideally, you're getting an even smaller time frame, like a 15-minute here. And if I can get both these in the picture here. So you're buying your dips here on some calls. We're pushing up, and again, this isn't target one for me on a 0DT. No, like if I'm in a Friday contract, yeah, you can push up to there and make that a more extend target. But for me, right in this middle range, like look at where we pushed, we stalled, next candle breaks out. What do? We retest it and they defend it. What do? We come back and they start battling out tops and bottom of candles here. They push up, we come back and they engulf it. They retest it and ultimately sell back through it. And so for me, any pushes up into 267 for sure. Trim heavy, that's basically a 30-cent move. That's going to pay you pretty nice. Can't, where'd my chat go? There we go. Can't fault that on wanting to trim there. We push up into here again, a very tight range. Not overly confident either way in either of these ranges because you see we push up to 267 and you could get that kill candle on some calls. So be very, very mindful. So for me, I'd prefer puts on a break below this and a retest. I know we had this big buy up here. I don't know what time frame that got bought up on. We could look on the 1 minute, see how quick that actually was. But going back to those previous tops that I was showing you guys back in the charts over there, that's kind of what I'd be looking for to get long with more confidence. Again, it could be a waiting game. So if we kind of open into here and you're like, hey, I don't want to trade this $1 range, get the breakout, retest of that support, which is also previous day high. So if we're playing, double bottoms, we're like, hey, we're gonna buy the dip. There's a low. I know there's not a low here, and we get a low here. Hey, you're buying the double bottom. That's all we're doing up here is another form of a trade plan. Is hey, we're buying the breakout of high of day, the retest. It holds. That is saying buyers are defending this level. We're going up for more. So that's what I would do. How I trade this. So I would just watch this in the pre-market tomorrow. And again, a very, very nice $1 range in here. Very, very possible to get the 267 calls and a nice push, but don't be overly confident based on this price action I'm seeing here because it wasn't, this is a decent clean move on the breakout. And then what do we do? We just ranged the rest of the day inside here. And we went back to basically what I'm calling the entry point. So yeah, we get that point here. Get your entry because you're basically repeatable price action. You're looking for something like this. I know there's a big candle here. Let's just kind of ignore this part here. But these candles here that are defending it, the wicks on the bottom side and candle body closes under, that's what you're doing when you're trying to buy the dip on something. I'm not sitting on the 1 minute looking at a candle close over. I'm looking for, 30-minute, 15-minute charts on that and get that bounce with confidence there. Hopefully that answers your question. M Spell, you're so lost. Talk to me. Unmute your mic if you want. Are you new? Or the way I chart, or why you lost? We're a team in here. What's up? If you're new, it's okay. I may chart different than River. I like to show you guys daily 4-hour time frames and then zoom in and show how those levels line up. So send me a DM if you're still lost. We can talk. I don't like anyone to be lost. All right, Google. Making sure they're still in here. Yes. All right. I think I'm gonna do GOOG. It's the same thing, just same chart. I just think I got lines on this chart. I don't know if I have lines on the other one. There's two different stocks to trade. So I'm gonna go with, but I think that was the alert today. So maybe I should stick with that. But I can chart out real quick, no big deal. Because it is 320 versus 324, slightly different. Yeah, not a big deal. You've always just traded long term. Yeah, so long term, you want to focus on daily, weekly charts, big support levels. These are just day trade levels for options trading, but don't be shy. If you're looking at stuff for shares, if you're like, hey, I want to buy some Apple shares, how or where should I scale in it? Ask questions because there are lots of share traders in here. This is primary options trading, but we have some very good swing share traders as well. So don't be shy, but glad to have you in here for sure. Google, quick charting. Here we go. I'm looking for candle body closes. I'm looking for wicks that match up back and forth. Right away, this top here lines up with this wick and this wick, and not that one, but 3 touches plus candle body closes right there. Good enough for me. This is just quick charting, guys, just for speed of the class. It's not going to be perfect. All right, we close right here, 324.26. It lines up with this candle body wick here. Good enough for me. Again, I like to find repeatable setups, stuff like that. And then this one down here. And now we're going to zoom in. Yeah, send me a chart. Send me one chart a week. In a couple weeks, you're going to be a pro. Doesn't take much effort. You guys don't have to do this 4 hours a day. 20, 30 minutes a day. Send someone a chart that you trust. You guys will be good traders in no time. All right, a little bit of a range here. I got those 2 levels there on the daily, that kind of that bottom, middle, and top. So this is, to me, how I trade. No accident where it's stopping. Look at where it was the bounce zone there, so it was the bottom. I know we nipped under, but on the hourly, that's where it closed and defended. And look at it's kind of the magnet this week, or excuse me, Friday. Opened at that and sell instantly. What do we do? High a day. Where did it stop? Right there. No accident. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of the range here on Google. So um, I'm not overly bullish or bearish. So um, for me to buy calls, I like it off this kind of this middle range here because we can see slightly engulfing. What did it do on the next candle? It opened, it tested, it defended. Buy your dip. Okay, why does this level matter? Look at this zone here. They break over, slightly over, they try and break higher, it fails to go higher. What happens? They sell back through it. They retest the next hourly candle. Where do they stop out? Same spot. Where do they stop out here? Same spot. So 324.4. I like this middle range to buy the dip on calls. I don't like chasing up here. Clear and define top range on the daily. So for me, if we open here pre-market and you're not in yet, I need a breakout retest to hold here. For me, how I trade, maybe you can buy here and get this chase on the calls, and the breakout happens, you get lucky, or I call it lucky. I just don't chase double tops, high days, stuff like that. So either be patient. If we open up down here, even better, and you ride that wave up. And for me, you're trimming a lot in between here. And then you're holding a run or anything short dated on a breakout of this level. Like there's no way I'm catching this 324.4, catching over a $3 move up, and I'm not selling because I'm greedy because I don't like the percent change on that. Like that's just greedy trading to me. And so, first case scenario is buy this dip here. If we open around here, if they sell through it, you cut, or if you're like in some long dated calls, you want to immediately at least have the mindset or the plan of hedging puts to the downside. Because again, what happens when we break this level? Do we go all the way down here? No, not every single time. But what happens, generally speaking, across all time frames, down the 15-minute? What happens if we break this zone here? Hard sell. What happens when we break this zone here? Hard sell. What happens when we don't get here? Hard sell. So, think that's a good stop? Yeah, absolutely, it's a good stop. Parito, what's up, man? Open your mic or put it in the chat. If it's relative to this, we'll
Yo,
chat.
1K, can you hear me?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I have a question. So you were talking about right now, you were like, okay, you push into like price target one, and you're like, if you don't like the percent return, it doesn't matter. You should be trimming because it's like clear resistance there, right?
Right.
So on the flip side of that, what if like sometimes I'm trading? So like earlier I was in the trade, I was at about 50%, and
Mhm.
technically my TP was a new high of day. And it was like closer to 75%. I mean, I sold at the 50% because I mean I'd be a fool not to, but I
Right.
know in like other trades, it might not be so much of a percent return. So I
Hmm.
guess my question would be like, when would I know to like sell versus to hold to get to my first price target?
Hmm.
Because then if you sell too early, like instant green, then
Right.
your losses will then like if you hold your whole position till your stop loss. Are you understanding my question? I feel like I'm
Yeah, for
losing my
sure.
signal.
What was it, a scalp or what was it? Because I can definitely look at it. The short answer without looking at the chart is, I can backtrack my words and eat my words a little bit. Like if you if you have a good, I don't know how to word it. If you have a good entry, the percent will also be good as well. But if you, I'm not sure how to word it. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because a 50% trade is great. I think maybe your targets were too wide. So again, I'm not going to say you're wrong because you just caught a 50% trade. I can't fault you on that. But if you're looking at a target and you already got 50%, then does that, you understand what I'm saying now is you're like, okay, let's just say I'm just throwing this out. Let's just say you entered here, um, and you're like, hey, or wait, what'd you say your target was high of day? So this is just gonna be a shit example, but say you entered here and you're up 50% here, and I'm looking at something like this, but you're like, my target is high of day. That's where I'm like, hey, we need to look at your charting a little bit better and say, why is high of day your target? Again, without looking at the chart, if there's time, we can definitely come back to whatever one you entered, and I can kind of go over what was the trade just so I can write it down.
So literally, I think it was, you see that white candle just before the one you circled?
Oh, was it actually in Google?
Um, I'm not sure. No, actually, it wasn't Google, but I'm just like, it was someday today, like around that. Mm, let me see. I was actually texting Avenger when I'll get the exact time right
Okay, yeah,
now.
let me know, man. Yeah, let me know time zone. We'll go over. I don't want to skip other
Yeah,
people
yeah, for
have
sure. Sorry.
requests, but no, that's a super good question, man. I just think it maybe when you look at some targets, and if there's time at the end, you can be honest, say, hey, this was my target on XYZ chart. And I'd say, okay, brother, that's a good target, but why are you skipping this, this, and this? I think it could be a good learning example for most people. But when I say that, guys, just in general, like if I say you're being greedy, it just means, if you're entering here and you push up here and you have this level marked, you're like, hey, this is a big resistance. Let's just pretend it rejected like the previous 6 days. You're like, I'm only up 13%. I'm not selling. To me, that's what I'm saying is it's a bad trade. And you're chasing. The chart says sell here, and what I'm telling you guys is, you may have chased and it's only 13% or whatever percent is. I'm just making up a number and making up on this chart, but your entry should be better. That when you sell at a target, you shouldn't be discouraged or you shouldn't want to be greedy to hold more. You should be like, hey, this is where they sell the last 6 days. I should probably sell here, and I'm up a bigger percent. It makes sense, and it takes the mental side out of trading, because you know that you're not chasing stuff. You bottom tick Google down here, right here. I know it's in hindsight, um, but yeah, the person that requested Google, hopefully this helps you. I know it was kind of long-winded. We got sidetracked, but for sure, this 324.4. I'm not overly bearish on this name. Even if we kind of break this zone here, we're getting some buybacks. We're getting some buybacks, and so for me, I'm leaning more neutral to bullish on this setup than I am bearish. But if you need extra help on this name, send me a DM. I just don't want to take too long. I know there's some people waiting here. They got some requests, so. With that, I'm going to move on. Making sure I get one of everybody. MPEL, you're still in here. MPL, yeah. AMD, yep. And I think you were just talking about longer term. Are you looking on shares on this or swings? Feel free to unmute. I think you're the one that said your loss, which is fine. Let me know. Looking. Okay, weekly day trade. Perfect. And just to confirm, you're not in yet, you're just eyeing it, right? So I can say if you're already in, you should be selling here. If you're not in, look for this. Okay. Yep, Ghostwalker put it in. I think there's maybe a couple, one or two ahead of you. I'll go as quick as I can. No more football. We can go a little bit long tonight. All right, I'm on the 1 hour chart. MPEL. I'm probably butchering your name. I see a lot here, and this might be good for charting. I know hopefully if you're on your phone, it's easy to see, but I'm seeing all this consolidation here, all this consolidation here. Where are we at? We're in December, consolidation breakout. Back to the consolidation zone. What does it do? It triggers a sell. Retest that zone, it triggers the bounce. Where are we at now? So I think this is another good example for my ranges here. Let me make sure I get it exactly how I want it best I can, because it might be a little bit of indecision, a little bit of waiting here. So I'm going to draw this, and then I'm going to zoom in on the 30, and I'm going to backtrack in time 90 days. That should be plenty. So all I'm doing now, you guys, is I'm going to zoom way in on the 30-minute, and I'm going to look at more intraday price action to see if this is a good level before I give advice. So again, that breakover, that buyback I was talking about, provided it was a bounce zone. What they do, they sold through it here, tried to break over, triggered the sell. So this is the level I would have focused on from December. And I still am sticking to my guns here. I know there's some poke outs over it, but really, if we kind of cheat and bring it a little bit higher up over that 216.5. Really, this 216 is just gravitating towards me down to basically 214. So $2 range, not horrible. There is some price levels in here. Let me nab these for you and kind of show you the what and the why and the madness behind kind of why a chart. What I'm looking for here, a couple of these top side wicks. All right, present day, let's build a plan for you. So, and these levels are, to me, making sense. Let's see here. Let's go down to 15. What does that price action look like? It's basically 212. So for me, I trade, again, we're in kind of like IWM, that kind of not a no man's land, but just a tricky spot. You currently have calls 3 days out. Okay, cool. Are you red or green on those? You don't have to say what percent if you're not comfortable. It'd help me if you say like what price on the chart you bought at, so I can kind of help you out. I'll wait for you to reply if you got a second. But yeah, I really don't like chasing longs over 216. Kind of the theme of the tonight. Break and retest a previous day high, which I know it ticked a little bit under, but just basically that big level there, 217. I see these top side wicks. We get the breakout, and it doesn't hold. We break out. Yeah, we break out on 50-minute candles. We're not really holding on the daily and retrace. And now, at least in the after hours, we're kind of back under kind of this no man's land tricky spot. And so for me, I know you're in some calls. Anything under 214, unless you're in like big profit, you're in down here. If you're in anywhere up in this red zone, for me, it's a cut. 3 days to expiration. And the weekend, or not weekend, the overnight theta, if you're in anywhere up here, and we sell through 214, I can zoom back and show you what happens under 214. I don't like to be bullish on that. Buy the dips down into here. But like I said, if you bought anywhere like, yeah, 214 for sure. I can agree with that for sure, because if they give up 214, what are they giving up? They're giving up that buyback wick. They're giving up that buyback wick right there. And so they give it up here. What does that say? Well, that just says, hey, buyers are not controlled there, basically at 214. And, short term, as for a day trade, got to lean bearish for at least a $1 move down in this zone here. Back to this level here, we see, excuse me, a breakout, retest, defended clear as day. They closed it there. They bought it back up, engulfed it. So what do? Sell through 214. You watch this 213 to 212, 24 price action down into there. Again, not super bearish even into here. A $1 move on puts would pay very, very nice. But again, I'm not saying get into puts and you're looking for this shit down here. No way. You got to clear this first. This could be target 1, target 2, and then a final target down this zone here on this quick move on Monday, or excuse me, today. But again, kind of a tricky spot if you're in calls, but hopefully for your sake that they kind of open over this 216 in a nice push for sure. Hopefully that helps you. DMs are always open if you need more help. All right. Gonna skip American Airlines just for a second. Avenger, I want to get everybody in here. Make sure this person's still in here. Oracle, let's look at. We haven't done that one in a while. ORCL, I think. Yep. I don't know if I've charted this one in class. What do we got? Anything? Ooh. Close right the daily 9. So let's see how good our charting is. Let's get some levels down here. Are you in this one on Oracle? Just looking for an entry for sure. All right. Close right at the daily 9. And this top side wick. Candle body close there. Candle wick there for sure. Not in yet. All right, perfect. And are you a day trader or swing trader? Now that I have your attention. This just kind of helps me figure out what we should look for here. Daily, let's get to 1 hour real quick. Just want to look at this price action. Very, very nice stair step down, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and then a trend break right into here. Love this setup already. I already know it. So, all right, let's zoom back in time. Let's see how far, 90 days. Let's see if that's enough. Hang with me here. We're just going to scroll and see this price action here. Oh, damn it. I got to go way back. I just want to confirm before I tell you guys. Let's go back a half year. Where are we at? 157 down here. All right, we got some price action here. So we are all the way back. Don't have much to work with here. May of last year. Let me see if we any more touches. We might just have to roll with that. I want to go back just a little bit more. I like that confirmation. Come on, there we go. All right, so we are back September 24. All right, now we scroll back in real time and see if there's any more touches. There we go, that's what I wanted to see. So basically, we're selling down, we're back in time, we're selling down, we're breaking back over this this nice pocket here, this 156.8, basically 160 if you want a nice round number. I'll give you a chance to take a screenshot if you want. Present day now, hang with me here. All right, so I love this setup actually. It's super, super clean just because we have, you know, our low and what did it do the next day? It tested it. What did it do? Rejected it. Made a low. What did it do the next day? Tested it, rejected it. Like this is just, obviously it's in hindsight, but just this is picture perfect trading. If it were this easy every day, we'd all be millionaires. Low zone, what did it do? Tested it, sold lower, 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 lower. You get the point. Now we're coming back into here. The first sign of a trend break was today. It bucked this downtrend here, pushed up back into previous price action here. So this is very, very cut and dry for me. I'm on the 1 hour. Let me zoom in for you here. You're a day trader. So I like this. For me, get bullish, stay bullish on this level. I know it's kind of quick charting, but basically you can kind of see where this cluster is here. So you're taking basically an 80-cent move, option Greeks. That's not going to be super fun to hold that, but I just want to show you here. If you do take a long swing, haven't talked about yet tonight, this stair-stepped dash line is my daily 9 moving average. So again, I said on the daily chart, hey, it closed right at the daily 9. Intraday, Thinkorswim can show you where it's at. Super, super helpful. So what do we have here? We have a support that is reclaimed and held and a moving average right underneath it. Not right underneath it, but 80 cents away. And so for me, I am not bearish on this name until this breaks right here, until the daily 9 moving average breaks. And to prove the moving averages work, look at the battle there, look at the back test, look at the move over. What do? We sold through it, and what they do all after hours, they held it and defended it. So buyers are here. Buyers want to defend this previous level. We look back in time. I love this spot here. Super, super nice chart. So a 157 or a 158 call, definitely off this level. If that level holds here, but again, we're not getting greedy. We're not looking for this for target 1. We got all this push up into basically 158. Again, you get a $1.20 move in your direction, that's going to pay very, very nice. Trim heavy at 158 if you get that move. Okay, break and retest to 158. What do? Your stops are at 158. So just quick and easy math, or quick and easy example, excuse me. We're taking calls here at $1. I know they're going to be more than $1. This is just for an example. We push up to here. Contracts are now worth $2 or $200. We move over. That is now your stop loss. So basically, when we push over a target, you look at the option contract and go, okay, the bid was at $2. We move over. I'm now like 225. That is now your stop loss. No questions asked. We move up higher. This was worth 250. Again, random example. Now your stop loss is 250. Now you get to that final target. That's where you sell the runner, how you sell the runner exactly. But super nice setup in here. If we kind of open this middle zone here, I'm still slightly bullish over 250, or excuse me, 158. But again, big zone here. Don't chase this double top. If they make this move early in the day, what are we doing? We're being patient for a breakout, retest, go for another leg up. Don't chase calls here to double top and get this smackdown move, see instant red and an instant cut. Do not trade like that. Okay, be patient. Hopefully this helps you, but again, DMs are always open. Ask me questions in DMs. I'm always here to help people. All right, gotta scroll back up. Where are we at here? SanDisk, I think it is, or Netflix. What you want? Is it Leanne? Leanne? I'm probably butchering your name. I'm sorry. Let me know if I have your attention in the chat. I'll give you a few minutes. Name is Started with 1K on Discord. Let's look at Netflix. Yep, I see some Bank of America as well. It's gonna have some shitty candles on it, but we'll take a look for sure. Go as quick as I can, guys. Netflix, a little bit of a range here, a little bit of a trend line here. Let's stay zoomed in. Let's kind of see where we're bouncing, why we're bouncing, and then we'll go to daily, see if it makes sense. We'll kind of do it backwards. Good way to check our charting. So I'm looking at this first plan of attack here. I'm kind of looking at where we topped out here last Wednesday because I'm kind of seeing that magnet there, that battle there, they break over, under, and kind of where we stopped today on this push up. So definitely need area of interest for me. I know there's some more stuff in between here just for charting. What kind of want to get a middle zone, low range here, and then kind of this high of pre-market high today, and then this high. I know we poked over it, but where are we kind of stalling out here? 82.5. So check our daily, see how good my charting is. What are we doing down here? Oh yeah, 82.5. You think the 82.5 matters? You damn right. Look at that, guys. Beauty. Think that bottom range matters? Nipped it a little bit there. Yep, we got our game plan. If you guys are in this, let's move this line and see if this line's up. Yeah, kind of cheating here, kind of sort of lines up. I have a more defined top range of this channel here in the daily. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, not super perfect either. But first and foremost, yeah, Netflix, can't fault all the green names trying to long it. Shark, Nando, I think a couple of them got some profit on it. I tried it once even, I think somewhere up here, 85.5. Kind of the middle zone here. So if you're not in it, I see some red flags if you're trying to long it, at least how I trade. You guys probably know where I'm going with this. A couple things here. So top. I know it poked over, failed breakout. I'm calling it a top. Top, failed breakover, poked over it, Friday in the big pump. What do we do? Today, kill candle, bottom range, retest. Where do we stop? The same. So at least how I trade, how I try and teach you guys. If we open under 81.44, I am not taking a long there. I see, where are we on? We're on the 1 hour chart here, guys. I'm seeing all these failed breakouts. The only breakout we had Thursday might have even been pre-market. Not gonna say it doesn't matter, but current or open market trading hours, regular trading hours, excuse me. We're just really failing to break over this zone there. Clear as day, no bias. This is what I'm seeing, and so I'm longing the bottoms down here with confidence because I'm seeing huge bounce reactions. I'm shorting the top range, and then this middle range breakout retest that holds. Not super confident, but it could work just because top side wick, which means it's getting kicked down every single time. And then if this breakout does happen, I'm not looking for this purple line. What is it? It's our daily 9 moving average. So we had a down day today, so this is going to open, stair step down a little bit, something like that. You have the daily 9 moving average overhead, and all that's doing smack down, smack down, smack down. Tomorrow, smackdown, question mark, I don't know. But again, for me, you're better off just smacking these longs down here at basically 80. I know it ticked under 79.87. Caution here. This is just kind of a 50-50 zone for me here because it is the middle zone here. I don't like this zone for longs. Slightly feel better about it taking the puts underneath it because just this recent price action I'm seeing, just four, failed breakout days over that zone. So I got to lean on what I'm seeing here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 failed breakout days. Yeah, we can try and catch that breakout, but not a lot of confidence. Maybe tomorrow's the day, just blast it. That's fine. But again, short the tops here. It's a very nice range. I know we want the breakout on swings, but guys, this is money. $2.50 range. Like if you can bottom tick some calls and take it up here, or bottom tick calls, take it up here, like that's paying you huge. $1.40 move in your direction, that's paying massive. Don't believe me? Let's quickly look at this here. So let's bottom tick some 80 calls here today. I know it's in hindsight, but you're like, oh, $1.40 move sucks. It does not. Netflix, weekly 80 call, low of the day, 133 to 2 something, paid you 70%. Okay, play the chart, you guys, play the chart. Chart says clear and define top and bottom so far. Hopefully that helps. I know everyone's trying to catch this bottom. The bottom keeps bottoming. Definitely finding a base here for sure. Not gonna argue with that. For sure, find the base. All right. Okay, I think I'm on trying to get caught up. I don't like to skip people, especially people that stick around. All right, got that. ANT, you still in here? You are. Thanks for sticking around. We got ARM, and we got Microsoft, and we got looking. I think I've seen Bank of America a couple times here. Don't want to skip that. I love Bank of America. And DAR. All right. That's why I gotta write this down. I already forgot what the heck we're doing. ARM. And Pareto, are you still in here? Yes, Microsoft. Ghost Walker's still in here, of course. DAR, thanks for sticking around. And Bank of America. Cool. So we got 4. ARM, are you in here? Ant, are you in this trade already or looking to get in? What are we on this one? Ooh, got something here from somebody requesting it.
Yeah, I'm in those 130 calls right now.
Nice.
I'm looking to sell at the 126, 127 range. I was able to get in at, let me see, I think.
Are you there, brother? Or did you cut out? Or do you mute your
Hello,
mic?
can you hear me?
Yep. Okay, you said
Oh, yeah, I
you
got
got
in
into
at
something?
124.50. Yeah, for the ARM for
Okay.
130 calls for this week.
Sorry about that. I talked over you. You got in today?
Yeah, I got in today. Yeah.
Okay, what price level again? Sorry about that.
124.50.
24.50. So almost high a day. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of messed up right there.
Oh, that's all right, man. I appreciate the honesty. So I hope it breaks out for you. I want to show you a couple things I'm looking here when you're looking up that contract. So again, this is just one person's charting. Doesn't mean it has to reject, but just be mindful of what I'm going to show you here. So on the daily here. So I'm looking immediately when you're talking, I'm seeing this bottom here that's a little bit worrisome. And then we're kind of seeing, we're kind of stopped here the next day. This is back in May of last year. They opened at it, held over it, and it provided the springboard for us. Okay, we back tested it. It provided the springboard again. They tried to sell under, they bounced it again. And so this was support all day long. This was support. This engulfed it, and they never made it back here. So right now, we have to treat this as resistance. So I'm not going to lie, it's a tricky spot you bought in at, but I can get a game plan for you. What are they weekly calls or what expiration?
They're weekly. They expire this week.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's for me at least how I would trade this, you have a very clear and defined trade plan is, last week's high and yet today, man, I keep thinking today's Sunday, I'm so off. Today's high, you need to break and hold over 125. So it's very obvious what you need to happen. For me, you're gonna have a little bit of hopefully this holds for you because you're in short dated stuff. I don't want to see an open down here, but what I would do for me, a cut is basically, I'm just going to hand draw and kind of show you. So we got this top side wick here. And if I can draw straight, you can kind of see that's that battle today. And so this really for me is my stop. I know we're under it right now, but you can take on as much risk as you want. But when I see stuff like this defended, which is also right here, which is also pretty much that close into here. Any close under that, that's basically 124. It's a cut for me, especially if it's short dated. I would not advise averaging down. That's your own business if you want to. It's just obviously it's in hindsight I can say okay you bought the high day. Don't do that. But we want the breakout for you obviously, but it's a very very tricky spot. And to me, where it stopped today, when we looked back in time, it absolutely makes sense. But best case scenario, we open over 124 and we defend the bottom of these wicks like we did today. And it's just game on. You're going to open red, but again, unless you're truly, truly in a starter position, if we defend 124, you can add some more, but I don't want you to get over leveraged and if you're, I don't know what your position sizing is. Let's just say $500 and you're already in for $500. I don't want you to put another 500 on it and be in too heavy. And then we slice this and what normally is like a few percent hit on your portfolio is even worse. And so I don't want that for anybody, but it's clear and defined where you need to break to make some money. And even if we push up to this entry tomorrow, because of overnight theta on the contract, you're still probably going to be red. And so conservative, good trader, you know, if we start kind of stalling here, I would just sell it and just say, hey, I kind of got a bad entry. I need to reposition, and so be it. If they break and hold this, it's totally okay to roll into next week's contracts and have the same mindset, but just you're adding more time for safety. Does that kind of help you make sense? It's just a really risky spot. You're in some calls.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, today I just seen that 125 hit. It would go
Yep.
up to like 125.15 and then boom, right back down to
Yep, and just
124.
that kill shot down. But yeah, if you, I don't know how good you are at charting, just go to something intraday like a 1 hour, 4 hour, and you zoom back in time, kind of like I showed you. Like to me, it makes sense. And then if we had more time, we could even look back at this 124. I bet it would be a fairly decent bounce zone, on some of those older wicks. But hopefully, you get some profit on it, brother. It's unfortunate it's just that tricky spot, but I don't want to just lie to you and be like, oh yeah, keep averaging down and holding when it's that spot. So
Yeah.
hopefully you can get some green out of that one, man.
Hell yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. Perito Microsoft. Was this the one you took, brother? Or are you just looking at an entry? Are you here? Are you here? Looking for entry. Perfect. Got some good lines here. Let's go back to this. We're right kind of over it. Let me see where we're at here. Let's check this on the daily. Not gonna say no man's land, but just kind of a tricky spot here, at least with that gap. Anything over that, I can work with that. Or under that green, so we're at 415. Oh wait, we're right at it. Okay, yeah. So get long over 416.34, but not super confident because of Wednesday's price action. If we had some clean, candles all the way up to here, I would like it, but I'm seeing a big kick down, big push up, and then a hard smack down and a big retracement. So I don't love the zone, brother. It's not my favorite setup of the night. Off this can work because we seem to be pushing definitely after hours. I don't know if that's some news or what's going on, but definitely a spot here over 416.34. But again, use caution and then keep an eye, especially up in this 418 zone, because they're just a lot of kick down here, And again, we can't start looking for stuff up here until we clear our most recent price action. That's just from last week. And so, yeah, 417 call for sure can pay, but again, hang out on those lower time frame charts here. Let's see what it's looking like on the 15. And yeah, so we kind of just, even the 15-minute candles here on this Wednesday of last week, not super confident. Like I said, we pushed a whole dollar up, but then just that treble up here at this 418 to 418.3. So not my favorite, but it's not, it's not a super bearish setup. It's just not my favorite long setup. But who knows? Maybe it has a really good breakout day. I'm totally wrong. We just blasted that 418 and go up in this 422, 420 area. Definitely could happen. Any sells underneath that, I'm a little more confident on a bearish trade because we're just breaking this after hours session, and we'd be repeating that price action there from last week. So tricky spot for longs, but yeah, it could work for sure. Ghost, you still in here? You are. What do we have? A DAR. Checking the chat. I can't remember if you're in this one or not. April 17th, 60 call, 68 got last Monday. Let's take a look. I like the detailed breakdown. Feel free to unmute if you want. April, let's zoom out here. I don't know if I got anything on this chart. Big push up. What are we doing here? Are we all-time highs? Weekly chart? No. Interesting. All right. Ooh, earnings. Wait, they just earnings. Ooh, earnings in 2 days. Tricky spot. All right, we're on the weekly here. Ooh, that closed right at that wick. You got in Monday, so you're up, brother. Hopefully you trimmed. And if I ask you if you trimmed, hopefully you're being honest. Hopefully up here. If not, I think you'll still have some time. So on the weekly chart here, so I'm grabbing the bottom retest this wick today, which also lines up with that. And I'm going to zoom in here and kind of look at some price action. I need to get a couple more of that high wick from last week. And now we'll zoom in here. Tricky spot here for sure. Yeah, I got these from the weekly chart, so get out of drawing mode. You're in April calls, so for me, the mindset is trim into this, Ghostwalker. So trim into these zones here if you haven't already, and you got in on Monday, so you should be up. You caught a $1.50 move. You should be up decent. Definitely trim into here and stay long as this was resistance and now it's defended. So every time they touch this zone here, earnings are in a couple days, so this could negate everything I say. But as long as this is defended, if earnings was not this week, I would say if this is defended over 4728, stay long on that because now you have, again, daily 9 moving average creeping up. And as long as the stair step continues up on the price action, that's going to be a form of support and stay long on that. But again, big weekly zone here that totally makes sense where it's kind of stopping. For your sake, I hope they break this 49. But if we start seeing this, and if let's just say earnings is kind of a dud or kind of just a wash, doesn't really do much, we start popping out here. Again, play the chart, not the percent. This is a big trim zone up here for me. Again, this zone here. Ah, look at that spot there. Sorry, I had to sneeze. That spot there on the weekly. Tricky spot up here. They break over, yeah, we can start looking, think about that 51. But if that 49 stalls, I don't want to go back anymore. That's a tricky spot. But again, going back to if that base holds, we're saying this is holding. This top is now forming support. And just today they ticked it and they held that support. So that's the spot for sure. Yeah, MP, send me a DM for sure. DMs are always open. Hopefully that helps you on this. It looks like you caught a good trade. Got to get that breakout though. We can't look for that 51 or 50 until that breaks over. Need that breakout over that. Just yep, you trimmed. Love it, man. Love it. Keep riding that trend up. Yep. Have a good night. Glad you're getting some out of it for sure. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I'm gonna hang with you guys if you guys want to. I don't want to skip anybody. Leandro, Bank of America, a couple of requests. You're sticking around. And Easy A, if you want to stick around, do Apple, and then we'll probably have to call it. But I see those two popping up. Let me see here, making sure. Yeah, let me see how quick I can get to these guys. All right, Bank of America. Leandro, are you in this? I can't remember what you said. I'm sorry. Feel free to mute or put it back in the chat. And I'm staring at the chat. I'll watch. Hate these stupid wicks. Makes it super hard to chart. I gotta like really compress the chart to get these out of here.
Why does it do that 1K?
I don't know, man. They're usually just like, it's like 1 or 2 days, but it does it every day. And I'm just like, the
Mine's
thing
like
is, so
that
I'm on the
too.
4-hour chart. If I kill this one here, it's like cool. But now if I go to like the 1 hour, I think it pops back up and you have to like you got to keep sniping it. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do it in every time frame. And so I just haven't really traded this name a lot because honestly, I'm just annoyed with it. But yeah, not in yet. Perfect. So let me get some new lines up here. I just kind of want to see where we're topping out at. We'll back test Leandro and kind of find out. Not saying we're stalling, just where we're kind of consolidating up here. But yeah, I don't know those wicks. I mean, people say it's like dark pool stuff. People say it's just like sneaky big money. They're trying to get in and out of stuff. But why is it every day? I don't know, man. I wish I had an answer for you. I just don't know. Where are we trading at? 56.5 basically. All right. Top range there. Let's zoom back in time, see if that level hits. Unless this is new all-time highs. I think it could be. Let's see. Check that weekly. 10 years back. Yeah, it's got to be all-time high. Unless, yeah. Okay, cool. So, makes it fairly easy for us. Let's go back to the 1 hour. And again, hang with me. Got to freaking do this. So, not in yet. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. Or maybe this is all-time highs up here. Okay, so before I start yapping, get a couple more lines going here. Don't have a lot to work with because everyone is being scared buying the top, rightfully so. So open there, lines up with that open there. I think that warrants a line. Top range here. No, we nicked all-time high. Touch there and a touch there. So present day, what are we doing here? Let's get a couple lines down here. Grab the top side of this wick, lines up with that price action there. That's my reasoning. Present day. Oh, tricky. I am neutral to bearish on this setup only because not very convincing breakout price action to get bullish. So I can tell you the breakout retest to here, and it can absolutely work. We can absolutely do it on some like 57 calls, Leandro. But again, I don't want to look for the zone here. I'm not going to give targets of that when I see price action like this. So very, very tradable. Let me zoom in. Let's look at like a 15 and see what we're doing here. Calls, again, very tradable, but just with caution. So very nice chart here. So let me just cheat it like that. So we can play that breakout retest of this zone here, and we're playing the hold in the hope that these topside wicks are forming support. And again, targets are super easy for me. You're basically looking at, it's not much. It's a 13-cent move to this top little cluster here. For sure, target one. So if we hypothetically we take these tomorrow, you get your breakout. You really, if you're only playing a 13-cent move for target one, which is totally fine. You said, but looking for month out dates, yeah. So this may not be a super good setup because you can get some March April calls on this move here, and we get to this move here, and you're like, okay, 1K says play the chart. You want to trim here, and I get it. You're up like 3% because you only got a 13% move. I get it. And so that's where this is not like my favorite spot for longer term calls. Maybe short term day trades can work. If this holds, though, you can start building into a position, but just know that, hey, if we start stalling at 56.8, that's why. But again, if that breaks, 57.16 probably comes pretty quick and easy because we looked back previous day, there's not a lot of volume up here, there's not a lot of price action, so it can move very fast if we get a bullish day on this. And so if you take some I don't know how far out you want to go, we can talk in DMs, but let's just say some April calls, fairly cheap, we can even look at it. This to me is an okay stop out zone. So this could be your stop out, meaning you're trying some April calls here and you're saying, hey, I can take a 20-cent move down against me, knowing that they're buying it back, they're buying it back, they're buying it back, they're buying it back. But anything underneath this, and in between here, and it's not really, I don't really like this for puts until we get under 56.4 because we're making this our top again, and we're clearing these bounces. And so tricky spot here, but 57 calls on, let's just check March OPEX week. We even got 57.5 calls. Let me check open interest. Wow, stacked. March is stacked. So you can do I would prefer a 57.5 call if this fits your portfolio for 122 bucks. You have however many days that is of time, 39 days to expiration, and it costs you 120 bucks. Not bad. I personally wouldn't do the 60 just because it's a slower mover. You want to get that in that money shift, but super good open interest. Yeah, super heavy volume on these calls right here. April. 57.5 call again, 200 bucks, not bad. Try and stick to the third week of the month. It's the best open interest. You can absolutely do like a March 6th. Open interest is decent, but the third week of the month is generally the best. Let's talk in DMs. Let me know if you get in this trade. Again, not saying this breakout can't come, just have a little bit of caution for sure. All right. One more. Kevin, you stuck around. This is the absolute last one. You guys can bail it if you want. Kevin, you still in here? I see you're in here. MU. Yes, nice. What would you say about this one? Let's see. Puts, possibly. Let's take a look, brother. Zoom out. What is this 381 doing? So basically some indecision here. But I think I talked with somebody last couple weeks ago. This could trigger a nice sell underneath there. Let's check that 1 hour. Just gather my thoughts here before I tell you something. I don't want to backtrack. So puts under this 380 can work. I like, and I'll zoom in 1 second here, Kevin, but this is a 1 hour chart here. So I like this rejection here, and then that buyback, and then buyback. So that's kind of that magnet. And I like this price action here. I don't love this, and then there's a buyback and a buyback. So let me zoom in for you here on like the 30-minute. It can, oh man, this is tricky because right now it's just a battle. They're not ready to get this zone up here, and so I don't want people to be overly bearish on this. Just because we see the nice sell here, we get the buyback, and they want to defend it. They see the sell, what do? They buy it back, they want to defend it. They sell it, they buy it back, they're trying to defend this zone. They're trying to defend it. They're defending. So, oh man. With caution under this zone here, kind of under 380 can work, but again, with caution, because you got these buybacks here, you got the bottom of these wicks here. I know you kind of mentioned puts. I don't love it. I just don't, I don't hate it. I just don't love it either, if that makes sense. It's just tricky chart, kind of like Microsoft on Pareto asking maybe if there's a push for longs, or actually he didn't say, we just said perspective. I didn't love it for longs. Same thing with this. If I'm being honest, if this is reclaimed, I gotta get that bounce there, because I'm just seeing these hard buybacks on these bounces. They want to defend this zone. They're building the range, a very, very nice range, whether it be, 10 or 15 bucks, it's still a range. Clear and obvious defined bottoms here. To me, just lots of indecision into here. There's days it looks good, and there's days it's like shit. You take puts here and you're just getting chopped all day long. Yeah, for sure down into here. I mean, you could catch a day and we get that clean break on these wicks here, brother. But it's just like I said, I'm seeing the buyback here. I'm just saying with caution, try and catch this when this is not the only name that's weak. Try and catch us on a really weak, like a bearish tech day. AMD and Nvidia are both weak as well. We can get that sell for sure, and this can pay you very well. I just hesitant on this level. I just don't think it's ready for a sell quite yet. To me, this kind of just says a little bit of consolidation phase, and that's okay. But if you're in a trade or got bias on a trade, it's just tricky spot. But yeah, Ghostwalker, yep, for sure, man. Glad we could help you guys out, man. It's a team effort, you guys. We work together. We want to make money together. We're a team. We're on the same team. We're not against each other. There's a little beef here and there in the Discord, but overall, we're in this to make money together, guys. So appreciate the kind words, man. We're trying to get everybody leveled up. All right, y'all. With that, we're running a little bit long. I need some dinner. Appreciate y'all sticking around, all 10 of you. Super good request, you guys. As always, DMs are always open, you guys. Send me a chart saying, hey, I'm looking at this. What do you think about this? Here's my entry. Here's my exit. What do you think about this? And I'll always help you guys, but don't just say, hey, puts here, AMD puts here, SPY calls here. You got to put some effort in. But if you send me a chart, it tells me you're trying to learn. I always prioritize you guys. So with that, you guys have a great night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.